Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Kate, a UX designer and also a UX design engineer. And today we're going to dive into the world of HTML5. In this video, I'll guide you through building your very first web page from scratch. Let's get started. HTML5 is the latest version of hypertext markup language, the code that describes web pages. It introduces new elements, attributes, and behaviors, making creating dynamic and engaging websites easier. HTML5 is designed to be compatible across various devices, ensuring your site looks great on both desktop and mobile. So let's set up our development environment. You'll need a text editor like VS Code, Sublime Text, or Notepad++. You'll also need a web browser to preview your work, such as Google Chrome, Firefox, or Safari. Before we start coding, it's important to have a well-organized folder structure. This helps keep your project files in order and can make it easier to manage as your project grows. Here's a simple example. Create a main project folder. Inside it, create a folder named document for your HTML files, and within that, an images folder for your images. This keeps your project neat and organized. On the left side is how I have my structure set up, in case you want to follow along. Now, let's discuss why it's important to name your HTML file index.html instead of something else like what I did, welcome.html. Naming your file index.html has several key advantages. Most web servers automatically look for index.html as the default file to serve when a directory is accessed. This means users visiting example.com will automatically see your main page without needing to specify a file name. So for SEO benefits, search engine optimization, using index.html provides a clear default entry point for search engines, which can improve your site's SEO. And then visitors expect that entering a domain will bring up the main page. Naming your file index.html ensures that expectation is met. Using index.html follows common web development conventions, making your site easier to manage and understand for other developers. When you can use other names like welcome.html, doing so may require additional server configuration and can lead to a less user-friendly experience. Now let's talk about the importance of proper file naming conventions. It's best to avoid spaces in file names. Here's why. When file names contain spaces, they need to be encoded in URLs. For example, HTML5 with a space in between image5.png becomes image%25.png. This can be cumbersome and lead to errors. Additionally, some operating systems and web servers may not handle spaces well, causing unexpected issues. Instead, use underscores or hyphens to separate words. For example, rename image5.png to image_5.png. This makes your file paths more readable and avoids potential problems. By following these conventions, you ensure your project is easy to manage and compatible across different environments. Every HTML5 document starts with a basic structure. Let me show you the essential elements. Let's break this down. The doc type HTML declaration defines the document as HTML5. The HTML element is the root of our HTML document. So insert the head element. Inside the head element, we include meta information like the character set and viewport settings, and give our page a title. Finally, the content of our page will go inside the body element. Now, let's add some content to our page. We'll start with a heading and a paragraph. We now have a heading and a paragraph on our page. You can pause here to type out the heading and the paragraph. Next up, working with lists. HTML also supports lists, which are great for organizing information. There are two types, ordered and unordered lists. Here we have an unordered list for favorite things to do and an ordered list for steps to create a web page. Adding links and images. So links and images are crucial for any web page. Let's add a link to another site and an image. Make sure the image URL is correct and accessible, and just double check your file path. Okay, well, great job. You've just built your first web page using HTML5. Today, we've covered the basic structure of an HTML document, adding headings and paragraphs, lists, links, and images. There's so much more to explore, like CSS for styling and JavaScript for interactivity. In our next video, we'll dive into CSS. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified when I upload new tutorials. Thank you for watching and happy coding.